Hello, dear student. All of you, welcome back in our botany lecture number third. That lecture on chapter number first, introduction to plant diversity from botany paper first, credit number first, plant life and utilization paper second. I am Mukta Bhamre, assistant professor, Department of Botany, KTHM College, Nasik. So the student session agenda of today's lecture is angiosperm diversity, then diversity in habit, diversity in habitat, and diversity on the basis of nutrition. So the introduction to plant diversity. So the student in previous two lectures, we already seen that biological diversity, it is nothing but the various life form of the species, okay, the diversity among the various life form. Then cryptogames, it is nothing but the non-flowering plants, and phanerogames, they are the plants flowering plant groups, or that plant bears the flowers and seeds. So higher cryptogames, it's include the vascular cryptogames, pteridophyte. We already seen that pteridophyte, it is called the vascular cryptogame because it's having a vascular tissue, xylem and phloem. But this is first land primitive plants are there on the earth surface, and they do not produce flowers and seeds, okay, they reproduce only via through the spores. Then phanerogame, in last lecture we already focused on the gymnosperm. Gymnos, it is nothing but the naked, and sperma means seeds. So the student, these gymnosperm are the specialized plant group, that plants they bear the seeds, okay, they bear the ovule, but they do not having a enclosed ovary, okay, that's why that ovules or that seeds are always naked, okay, they do not having any enclosed membrane. So the student, in today's lecture we will focus here the angiosperm diversity. So the angiosperm, it is a commonly called as a flowering plant. So the angiosperm, the name indicate that angion means enclosed, or it is a case, and sperma means seeds. So this angiospermic plant, it is the most diverse group of the phanerogames, or it is also called as a flowering plants. Remember that this MCQ is asked. It is the largest group of the plant kingdom. So the student, this angiospermic plant, it's having near about uh, 3,000 different 300 different families are there, and near about 8,000 genera, and more than 3 lakh species are present. So this angiospermic plant group, it is a very highly evolved plant group, and it is originated in the Cretaceous age, and now they are dominant, or it is also called the dynasty of the plant world. So the student, we observed here and there, okay, there is a angiospermic plant present on the earth surface, it is the most dominant plant group. So the student, I'm focusing here the diversity in habit. So what is a habit? Habit, it is a nothing but an appearance of the plant, or how it grows and its growing places. So angiosperm show the following type of habit diversity. So the herb, shrubs, trees. So what is a herb? Herb, it is a nothing but it is a plant with a weak and soft herbaceous green stem. That aerial portion of this stem, it is a short leaf. Example, there is a coriander, milkweed, cynodon, etc. Specifically, the student, this herbaceous plant we specifically observed in the rainy season. Then shrub, this shrub, it is a perennial woody plant with a small height. It has many stem arising from the ground level. Example of the shrubs like as a rose plant, ocimum, lantina, and cisalpinia, etc. So the next habit, it is a tree habit. So it is a perennial woody plant with a single large tree trunk, and mostly it's having a height is more than the shrub. Example, there is a mango, then almond, ficus, etc. So the next climber. So climber, these are the plants possessing the long stem with the diffuse branches, and there is a special organs of attachment like as a tendrils are there, or it's having the hooks are there. By these tendrils and hook it climbs on a neighboring object. For example, cucumber, pothos is there in another we call the money plant, grapevine, okay, grapes trees, then bitter gourd, etc. Then the student next there is a twinner is there. The twinner it is a plant with a branch stem with itself twins around the support and climb. Example like as a clitoria is there, tinospora and syropegia. So the creeper, so the student creeper, these plants having a very weak stem and thus they run along with the soil surface but do not having a root at nodal region. Example there is a rangoon creeper is there. Okay, so the next runner is there. So these are the plant with a special organ such as the stolon is there. Stolon it is nothing but the horizontal branches. Offset and offset it is a for the aquatic plant, and sucker which produce the new plant at the specific intervals. Example there is a oxalis are there, mentha is there, okay. Then lions, it is a lions it is nothing but it is a long woody perennial tuners are there. Example is entada, it is a woody climber is there. Then the next epiphyte, epiphyte it is a nothing but the plant which grow on other plant but they do not absorb food from them. So the example of the epiphyte there is a orchids, okay. So the students see that here the herbaceous herbs are there. Example is a coriander is there, okay. It is a green leafy vegetable we generally used, okay, in our daily food preparation practices, okay. Then see there is a tree, okay. There see the height of the tree, okay. Then this is a shrub, okay. It is a larger than the herb but smaller than the tree, okay. Then see this is the climber, okay, you know the money plant, okay. Then see this is the twinner, okay. It is a clitoria. Then see this is the creeper, okay. It is a Quisqualis indica. In Marathi we call the Madhumalti. See in Marathi we call the twinner plant it is a gokern, okay. This is the lions, okay. See woody lions. Then this is the runner, runner it is a having there is a strawberry plant, okay. Then see this is the epiphyte, okay. See epiphytic plant, they that plant they specifically grows on a other plants, okay. Example there is a orchids are there, okay. So the student next point I am focusing here, the diversity in habitat. So habitat is a place where the particular plant can grow, determined by the various environmental factor like as a water, soil and temperature. This habitat diversity in angiosperm as following. See there is a hydrophytes, okay. So the hydrophytes these are the plants growing in a water or that soil saturated with a more water. So the student this hydrophyte they show the morphological as well as the anatomical adaptation like as they having a weak stem, okay. The stem having a more parenchyma tissues are there, air spaces are more, and the vascular tissues like as a xylem and phloem are present but they are poorly developed, okay, because they maintain the buoyancy, okay. So the example like as a hydra is there, nymphia is there. So the student it is again divided into the free floating hydrophytes, okay. They float freely on the water surface. Example is a lemna and ecornia is there. Then another type there is a submerged floating. These plants are completely submerged under the water and not rooted in the mud, okay. Example is a najas, okay. Then see the next there is a rooted with free floating leaves. So the student these plants roots fixed into the mud but leaves are floating on the surface of the water. Example is a nymphia and lotus. Then rooted submerged plant, this plant completely submerged in the water and with the roots. Example is a ceratophyllum is there and vallisneria. So the rooted emergent plants are there. These rooted emergent plants, these plants are growing in a soil saturated with water and root system. So example is a cypress. See the student, see the pictures, okay. See here the free floating hydrophytes. See, this is the ecornia. See, this is the foliage leaves, and see, this is the stolon, and see, this is the fibrous root, okay. Very big root are there, and this is the root pockets. See, this is another, there is a pistia is there, okay. See the pistia, ecornia is there, okay. So then see, this is the this is the nymphia, and this is the Marsilia, okay. So see, this is the rooted floating hydrophytes, okay. Then see, this is the submerged floating hydrophytes. Students, see, this is the ceratophyllum, okay. See, this is the it is a submerged floating. Then utricularia, it is another example. Then rooted submerged hydrophytes, okay. Example, see here, this is the Vallisneria plant, okay. Then this is the Hydrilla plant. Then root emergent hydrophytes, okay. See, this is the Sagittaria is there, and this is the Ranunculus is there. So the students, see, this is the diversity, habitat diversity among the hydrophytes, okay. So the student, next I am focusing here the mesophytes. So the mesophyte, these are nothing but the plants growing in a soil with optimum condition of water. For example, maize and sunflower are there, okay. Mangoes, all these are the mesophytes. So the student, next I am focusing here the xerophytes. These plants are growing in a soil with a scarcity of water is there. So these are again having a subtypes are there, ephemerals, okay. These plants completely complete their life cycle within the short period of time to escape from the drought condition, and also called the drought evaders. Example, there is Argemone mexicana is there, and Borevia erecta. Then second subtype, there is a non-succulent. These plants are drought resisting, and hence refer as a true xerophytes. Example is a Nerium is there, Acacia is there, Casuarina, etc. So the see the student the diagram. This is a succulent xerophyte. Okay, example is aloe vera. Okay, you all of you familiar with the aloe vera. In Marathi we call the korfad. Okay, the leaves are having a very massive, and they having a means that tissue they retain the water. Okay, then see, this is the non-succulent perennials. Okay, Ziziphus is there. In Marathi we call the boar. Okay, and Nerium is there. In Marathi we call the kanher. Okay, and see, this is the ephemeral. There is the Argemone mexicana. Okay, this is the ephemeral. They complete their life cycle within the short period of time. Okay, so in Marathi we call the bilayat. It is specifically found in that farms. Okay, so the student, next there is a halophytes are there. So the halophyte, these are the plants growing in a soil enriched with the concentration of the salts, like as a sodium chloride is there, magnesium sulfate is there, etc. So the student, I am showing here the two photographs. One is, see, this is the Ivisneria is their first photograph, and second, this is the Rhizophora. Okay, so these are the mangroves plant. They specifically found on the coastal areas of the seas, okay, oceans, okay. And see that soil, it is a very rich in a high salt concentration. So the next student, I'm here focusing here the diversity on the basis of nutrition. So nutrition, it is a most important phenomena. Okay, so according to that, it is a further divided into four different subtypes. Okay, so the first, there is a uh, saprophyte is there. Okay, so saprophyte, see, this is the autotrophic. Okay, then there is a uh, autotrophic, means these are the plants which prepare their own food material by the process of photosynthesis. So the student, example, mango, neem. Okay, you can take any example. Okay, so the another plant group is there. Okay, according to the nutrition, the parasitic. Okay, the parasitic angiosperm obtain their nourishment from their living plants, other living plants. Okay, so it is by means the host. Okay, host by means of the special sucking types of organs are there. It is called the hostoria, and that hostoria help in a penetration of the tissues of the parasite in the host to make the firm connection with the host vascular tissues. This connection help to obtain the ready-made food from the phloem of the host, and mineral salts get obtained from the xylem by the active transport mechanism. Parasitic angiosperm are further divided into the two types. Okay, so the total parasite, see, this is the total parasite. So the total parasite means some angiosperm are completely dependent on the root of the for getting the host plant for supplying of water and food, minerals and salt. These are called the total root parasites. Okay, example, there is a striga is there. This is the balanospora. Okay, so the balanospora and striga, in some total root parasite like as a rafflesia is there, the flower remain above the surface of the soil, while the vegetative part under ground and parasite the root of the host. So the next, there is a total stem parasite is there. That total stem parasite lack the chlorophyll and do not having a connection with the soil after the seedling stage, so that they are totally dependent on the host plant for supplying the water and minerals, salt and organic food material. So this is a common example. This is a cuscuta plant. Okay, in Marathi we call the amarved. So the student next plant type according to the nutritional requirement. Okay, there is a insectivorous plants are there. So this plant possesses the chlorophyll and therefore it is a capable of manufacture the carbohydrate. But the student, this plant cannot synthesize the enough protein as they grow in a swampy soil which is a deficiency in a nitrogen. And however, they can overcome this deficiency by catching the smaller insect and digest them. To fulfill this purpose, their leaves are modified into various types. See, this is the trap mechanism is there. Okay, they have a lead. Okay, hood like lead is there, and this is the tubular portion is there. Okay, see this having attractive bright color, and it's attract the insect toward itself. And when the insect coming near this mouth, okay, then it becomes slippery and insect means fallen down into that tube, and automatically this lid close down, and that insect digest with that plant secreting there is a glandular cells are there, and they secrete the extracellular enzyme and digest the insect, and they absorb the protein amino acid means whatever the plant required. Okay, so the student, the next, there is a saprophytic angiosperm is there. So the some angiosperm which lacks the chlorophyll, they grows on the soil rich in a humus, or there is a that soil having a rich in a dead and decaying organic matter in the forest. This plant obtain their nourishment from the humus or dead decaying organic matter through the mycorrhiza. Okay, that at the lower side there is a mycorrhiza is there. Mycorrhiza, it is nothing but the student fungal roots are called. Okay, means that a normal plant root, it is a get infected with a fungal hyphae. Okay, there is a symbiotic relationship between the plant roots and fungal hyphae. It is called the mycorrhiza. Okay, so this saprophytic angiosperm, there is example, there is a monotrapa is there. Okay, see in this diagram, okay, photograph, there is a monotrapa plant is given. Okay, and there is a new tita plant is also there. These are the saprophytic angiosperm. So the student, according to this, okay, the angiosperm, they shows very great diversity among them. Okay, so remember all this diversity according to the angiosperm. So the angiosperm, it is nothing but the flowering plants. Okay, they bear the flower seeds. Okay, and they are dominant plants on the earth surface. So the angiosperm are heterosporous plant. Okay, so they have a specialized means sporophytic plant having a stem, root and leaves. Okay, so gametophyte is a very reduced small, and it depends on the sporophytic plant. So the flower, it is a specialized organ, and within that flower they having a means that is a male and female reproductive part. So male reproductive part, it is called the gynoecium, while female sorry androecium, while female reproductive part, it is called the gynoecium. So the female, it is a gynoecium having a stigma style and ovary. Within the ovary there is ovules are there, and that ovules, it is called the megasporangium, and within that ovule there is embryo sac is present, and embryo sac, it consisting of the egg cell. Okay, so the student, another, there is a male gametophyte, male reproductive organ, it is called the androecium parts like as a stamen. Okay, it is called the stamen. Okay, it is having a filament, connective and anther. Okay, So it's consisting within that anther having a two anther lobes are there. Within that the four pollen chambers are there or pollen sac are there. Within that pollen sac there is a spore mother cells are there. That spore mother cells produce the microspores, or it is also called as a pollen grain after meiosis. Okay, and this haploid pollen grain under means they land on the stigma. Okay, there is a pollination is there. What is a pollination? Pollination, it is a nothing but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. When that pollen grain land on the stigma, okay, there is a number of vectors are there. Okay, by wind, by insect, by butterflies, by water current. Okay, so various vectors are there, pollinating agents are there. And when the successfully that pollen grain land on the stigma, that pollen grain germinate on the stigma and it is entered into the style. And during that germination of the pollen grain, that generative nuclei, it is a uh, getting a division, and it produces the two male gametes. Okay, through that tube. Okay, the angiosperm, it shows the siphonogamous type of fertilization. That means here the within that tube there is a male gametes were produced. One male gamete, it is united with the egg cell, and it produces the diploid zygote. Okay, and that zygote undergoes the repetitive division, and finally it is converted into the embryo. And the another second male gamete, it is a fuses with the secondary nuclei. Okay, and then there is a secondary nuclei, and then this male gamete, there is a triploid primary endosperm nuclei were formed, and finally from that primary endosperm nuclei undergoes the division, repetitive division, and there is a nutritive tissues were produced. It is nothing but the endosperm. Okay, so the endosperm, it is give the nutrition to the developing embryo. So the student, it is a very very important character of the angiosperm. They shows the double fertilization and triple fusion. Okay, so the student, see the seeds were developed. Okay, fruit were developed, and within that seed there is an embryo is there. So the student, see, this is regarding to the there is a general characteristic feature of the angiosperm. Okay, angiosperm, they having well developed vessels. Okay, xylem vessels. Okay, phloem elements are also well developed. Okay, so the see, this is regarding to the angiosperm. So the thank you. Okay, in next lecture, okay, in lecture number 4, so the student, we will focus on the pteridophyte. Okay, so introduction of the pteridophyte, then general character of the pteridophyte, general classification of the pteridophyte according to the Sporne in 1976. Okay, we will see in our next lecture. Okay, thank you.